From time to time, we get asked this question from either naturally curious people or from someone who's considering taking an action they probably should not. People ask, how do renters insurance companies detect fraud? Is it a gut feeling or is it something in their computers? How much money has to be involved before they care about fraud? I'm Eric from Effective Coverage. This is a great question and we have a few answers, so let's jump right in. Sometimes it's obvious a claim for something the insured probably never owned and can't produce any documentation for will be scrutinized, of course. One of the front-line defenses, though, is to analyze claims history. You may think the carrier will only see the claims that you filed with them. Well, you'd be wrong. Insurance companies all share information about claims in a central claims reporting database, and both underwriting and claims generally have access to it. Was there a similar claim shortly before you canceled your last policy? Do you file a claim every few months? Do you have two policies covering the same thing and you're trying to claim that coverage on both? Did you know there's a list shared by carriers of things that automatically make a claim suspicious? Now, we're not going to publish that whole list, but let's look at just a few that might be relevant to renters' insurance claims. First, is the claimant in financial trouble or distress? Worse off than they were when the policy started, or claiming shortly after the inception date of the policy? Increases in policy limits shortly before an alleged loss occurs. Missing police reports where appropriate. Valuable items removed from the premise shortly before a fire or another type of loss? In no way do any of the indicators prove fraud. They just create reasons to look deeper into a claim. Private investigators are a dime a dozen, and even the good ones aren't expensive relative to large claims. One Florida private investigator, a retired Secret Service agent, charges just $80 an hour for investigations in the scheme of a large claim. That's not a great deal of money for an insurance company to spend to root out fraud, especially on potentially large injury liability claims. Generally, there's no number below which it's worth a carrier to just pay a suspicious claim instead of investigating it. A $10 claim is just as likely to be investigated as a $10,000 claim. Why? Because fraud means higher prices for everyone, and also means that someone's receiving something they were not entitled to. If you're new here and want more tips on renters insurance coverage and don't plan on committing renters insurance fraud, but you do want to get the best price for your insurance, well, subscribe to the Effective Coverage YouTube channel. And don't forget that you can get renters insurance from the only exclusive provider of insurance for renters at effectivecoverage.com or by giving us a call and speaking with one of our insurance experts. Thank you for watching Effective Coverage for Renters.